All right, we look good. We feel good.
Oh, yeah.
Got some water. Everybody drink some water.
Everyone glug, glug, glug. Water.
Make sure you stay hydrated on this late November episode of SMSoup. What are you doing on your phone?
It's soup season.
Jesus fucking Christ. What's this? Did you make a note of what we're talking about?
No.
I told you not to.
Delete, 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 delete.
How's it going?
Good.
That's good. Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to SMSoup, the #1 podcast with soup in the name, but not on the brain. Who are you?
I'm Shelby.
And who am I?
Spencer?
And together, what are we here to do?
Take you on a journey.
Who?
We are.
No, who are we taking on?
We're taking all of you on a journey.
Who's you?
The people. The royal you.
Yeah, not just you listening, but
well,
all
maybe
of you.
Just you, if you're lucky. If you pulled the golden ticket. Yeah. Happy Cyber Monday.
Wouldn't that be cool if we could put that into a podcast somehow, where it's just if you are listener number whatever, you win?
Is there tech to do that?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
It'd be funny.
It would be funny.
And then we'd cry when we realized nobody listened.
What are you talking about?
Because nobody would claim it, and we would give it to the first person.
What are you talking about?
Joey, how you doing?
I'm good.
We're coming off of happy belated Thanksgiving and happy belated line the pockets of capitalist society weekend, and we're wrapping it up on today, Monday, which is
Cyber Monday, which is crazy.
But how are you doing?
I'm good. Speaking of lining the pockets, I did a small business Saturday event.
You did.
I was at one.
You were.
As a small business.
You were.
It was a lot of fun. It was technically my second ever small business Saturday, because I did do one last year. You
did.
But that one ended up being a little lackluster.
Yes.
Not what I was hoping.
We don't want to remember that one.
No, it wasn't great. This year was great. It was exciting. I didn't have any panic attacks. Only managed to forget a huge part of my setup at home.
Twice.
So that's a pretty good day, if you ask me.
No, definitely.
I setup for those events is always a bit crazy. And then there was definitely just an added tenseness to yesterday.
Right.
Because everyone there has spent a good bit of money to be there. Everyone has done a lot of work to have their setups ready and, is hoping for a very positive day. And I did, of course, forget very vital parts of my setup. And I realized it about an hour before the market was opening. And I, of course, called Spencer. And I was like, send help. I'm an idiot. And so, yeah, you and your dad really pulled through and helped me out on that one.
Oh,
the quick delivery. And I was like a little stressed about it. It really kind of put me in a headspace that I was like, oh no, is this going to be a rough day? And then I immediately was relieved when the person next to me didn't show up until about 30 minutes before the event started, which normally you're there 2 hours
and then
plus.
Their tent blew up.
And literally they were struggling to get their stuff together.
Did you help them?
No, because I had fallen behind in my setup. Normally I swear I would. Normally I'm it's crazy when I am not giving someone else something that I have extra of just to make sure they're in a good spot. I just swear.
You are normally pretty good about that.
I swear I'm there because I don't want other people to be stressed, because I'm always stressed. But I had fallen behind in my setup. And there was a whole intense cutoff of when to be ready for. And they said, if you're not, we might fine you. And if you're egregiously behind schedule. And I was like, oh, so I had me in a whole headspace. And I felt really bad because normally.
And you didn't have me putting your cage together.
I know. Normally I'd jump up and help someone. And this poor person, they had somewhat of a clothing rack completely just fall apart in front of them, and everything was on the ground. It was because they were late, it set off a like, domino effect of everything, of course, is falling
Not to
apart.
be that person.
Which I didn't ask them. Like, it's not my business.
Don't be late.
I would highly advise against it.
There's a reason. There's a reason why things start at times.
Yeah. Yeah. Which shit
Just saying.
happens. Shit happens, obviously.
Again,
I
you have no
get it.
idea what the person was going through that morning.
No concept of what their morning was like. But I, as shitty as it is, I was immediately relieved because I went, well, at least I'm not them right now. No, the day was great. Everyone was nice, and it was a lot of fun. It was exhausting, but it was a lot of fun. Yeah, so I'm just riding that high for the day I get to ride it, and then I have to get back into work.
Nice.
To be ready for the next one. That was really long-winded. How are you?
I'm good. Like you said, we were hosting my parents. They came down, salt of the earth.
Yeah.
They came down to have Thanksgiving with us. Not because we necessarily wanted, but it's really nice that they do that. They've started doing that, like coming to us for Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Which is nice. I think you and I both are like the type of people where it's just like, there's a reason we don't go home for Thanksgiving and we instead choose to go home for Christmas, which, listen, big corporate, if you guys want to try and change something, change the spacing of Thanksgiving and Christmas. Find a way to make money on doing that.
Yeah.
Please. I would actually be happy with.
Yeah.
Because it would be nice to go home for both, but it's just not logistic. It just doesn't make sense logistically. It's a fucking nightmare to travel around both anyway. Yeah. So anyway, it's cool that they do that. We came over to see how like the market was going and stuff. And as soon as we showed up, you used that as an opportunity. Very smart to run to the bathroom.
I had to pee so bad.
And
I was in pain.
It meant that I had to step in and do what I do best, which is man your setup when you do need to go away.
Yeah.
Which I am always more than happy to do. But when I tell you that while you are getting to ride the high, I am still riding the low of the anxiety spike that I felt when you left. Because it's every time. As soon as I was joking with my parents. I was like, the way that you should do markets is I should always be there with you.
Yeah.
You should make me man it, and you should go stand behind a bush somewhere.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And just lie in wait.
Absolutely.
And as soon as you see somebody start talking to me, you sprint over and go, sorry, I just got back.
Yeah.
I can help you. And then I swear somehow you would quadruple your sales.
Every time I leave you, you get like absolutely.
I don't know if I like told you, like, yeah, I get swamped.
Everyone just starts lining up, and like that won't happen to me all day.
That's not
true, but it always happens to you.
But there is always like a spike without fail whenever you leave. I don't know if I even told you, but there was this I'm assuming mother and daughter, and they were like, looking at stuff, and like I didn't say anything like, oh, can I help you with anything? Because I was just standing there nervous.
Yeah.
And they were like, can we grab your website? And I was like, I just want to be clear. I was like, this is all my wife does all this stuff. She just ran somewhere.
Nothing here is mine.
I love to put that out there where it's just like, if you walked up to this and thought, that's kind of strange that this man made all this stuff. You're right. That is strange because I didn't. Like, I feel like I don't look the part. Obviously, anybody can do anything.
Yeah.
And so you shouldn't judge people upon appearances alone, obviously. But I feel like I just
You feel like you don't fit.
I don't look the part. And I was, I think, wearing this sweatshirt yesterday as well. And so I was just like, I don't know. But anyway, that was funny. And they were like, this is her website, right? And I was like, yeah, it's on the QR code. I was like, you'll get there.
They were like, thanks, weird man. Bye.
Yeah. So who knows? Maybe you'll have an online sale shortly.
That'd be fun.
But I'm glad the event went well. It seems like it was going really well. And then just because I was thinking about it, because I said about my parents being here, I thought something really funny happened. And I don't know if you really picked up on it. And this is in no way an attack on my mother, but there was an ad for that TV show Ghosts.
Yes.
And I said to you, I was like, oh, so-and-so from Taskmaster.
Yes.
That's their show.
Yes.
And my mom, in such an American way, goes, I think it's so dumb that they do, like that they have Ghosts, and then they also have Ghosts UK.
Yeah.
And I was like,
let me Google it.
I did.
Oh, you did?
I confirmed.
Okay.
Ghosts UK,
Is
the
the
British
first one.
series, started in 2019,
And
and then
then-
there was a 2021 adaptation that started in America. And I just thought that was such an American to think, like,
We did it first.
we did it first.
Yeah.
We do it better. And I was like, that's like calling The Office
Yeah.
UK. Like, it's so weird that they do that. It's like, well, America dominates media, so that's why, even though it's the first, it's still given the
Identifier.
as the UK version.
Yeah.
Because we are always seen as like the bigger, better. But like, we weren't first.
I mean, you also just like, technically speaking, I'm sure Ghost UK wasn't streaming in the US. Like,
No,
there's
almost
probably
certainly
a
not.
really
Probably
good
on
chance
BBC,
it wasn't.
just like
yeah.
The Office was for
Yeah.
the longest time.
So like,
It's just so it was
yes,
just so funny. It was so
100%.
funny how she like said it,
100%.
and I would expect almost any American to do
Yeah.
that as well.
Yeah.
Like it just like
there's
it
a
perfectly,
UK version?
It perfectly encapsulated how I feel like the average American mind thinks.
Yeah,
I thought it was
absolutely.
so funny. She was
Yeah.
just like, yeah, it's so dumb that they do that. Like,
Yeah.
why have two shows at the same time? It's like, well, they're just making it so that you
If
can
I
watch
had to
the
guess
original, basically.
what happened, yeah.
I thought that was funny.
Yes.
But otherwise, we didn't really partake in the like capitalist holiday of Black
No.
Friday, but we did technically go shopping on Black Friday, and
We didn't-
we
yeah.
got some secondhand
Yeah, we went-
games.
Yep. Secondhand video game shopping is really all that we did.
Mhm.
And then we hit up some local breweries and stuff, which is always fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a big sale for video games, and we both agreed the best investment we've
Yes.
ever done.
We bought. So I like talked to my dad. Before they came down,
Mm-hmm.
and I asked him if we still have like our RockBand drums at home, and maybe guitar, but I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's fine. But yeah. So anyway, basically we were on like a kick of like we're ready to play, and then so all we need are a guitar. Then we find out that the guitars and accessories at the store we go to were 25% off.
Yep.
And so it was like, this is the perfect time to just pull the trigger.
Yep.
Like the peripherals for those games are the thing that's expensive, unfortunately.
Yep.
I already had Rock Band and Green Day Rock Band. And then today we went and picked up even more while we were also trying to go and get you some like fabrics and stuff.
Yeah,
to
but we
work
made
with.
the very foolish mistake on Friday. We
Friday,
bought one.
we bought one
because
guitar.
I don't know why we thought we both agreed that was a good idea.
I
and
think
I don't
we
know
bought
where
the
our
one
logic
guitar,
was.
and I think I said just in case we have the second
One at
guitar still
home.
at home.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because worst comes to worst, we either just have 3 guitars, oh no,
Yeah.
or we can probably sell one.
We bought one, which we were very excited.
Yeah.
We come home like after running a few places, and we set it up, and we immediately went, "Why the hell didn't we buy 2?"
As
Because
soon as
we
we started
now want to
playing-
play, and only one of us can play at a time.
And as soon as we started playing, it was like instantly. You
Yeah.
it was like a gut punch. I was
Yeah.
just like, I love this.
I know.
This is awesome.
Truly, like Guitar Hero, Band Hero, whatever, all of the above. They were my family's go-to party game. Like if people were over, we'd pull out the Wii and we'd hook everything up. And we had like a whole set, and literally everyone would get into it because you can just swap
Mhm.
instruments, swap who's singing. Sometimes multiple people are singing. Like it was chaos. And so like I feel like I have like on top of it being like a really fun game. Like how do you not have fun? Like just like really getting into it. I feel like for me, there's like so much nostalgia behind it
Mhm.
that literally the minute we picked up the guitar, I was like, this is gonna be the most fun thing
Mhm.
we've ever done. And after this episode, all we will be doing is going and playing Rock Band.
Yep.
And I'm very excited. Yeah, so we just set out today and get another guitar, and there was one left.
Yep.
One that was the one we wanted
Yeah.
left.
And there was only one left when we left, so it might have been the same one
It
that we
might
left
have,
there,
yeah.
and thank God.
It was scary.
But so we had 2 rock bands.
Yeah.
And now we have
Like 6.
between Rock Band and Guitar Hero, I think we have
We just picked up like 4 or
6.
5.
Yeah, Guitar Hero 5, World
Yeah.
Tour,
Yeah.
Beatles Rock Band,
Yeah.
We got a Rock Band. I don't know how the track packs technically work or the song packs, so we'll see if I don't know if those are like standalone or if they just like you plug it, you put it in the disc and it just adds it to the library. It
Okay.
might just be that. Guitar Hero Smash Hits, I think.
Yeah.
That might be it. So I think we got. I think we now have 8 of these games.
Yeah.
And
We also on Friday got some Dance Dance Revolution mats.
We did. Yep.
With the game.
Because those were also a part of like the accessory sale.
Yeah. So very ecstatic about that. Literally Guitar Hero and Dance Dance Revolution were like my games.
So that's what I was gonna kind of bring up. Like this has definitely been like a nostalgia. Ooh, sip it. Ooh, it's so good. And that's kind of where I wanted to go with this is like, is there something still from your childhood that you would love to have back? Now that you're...
Yeah.
I mean, like, I can, if you want to like think about it, I can go first.
Well, I already just have bad answers coming to the front of my head.
That's fine.
Like, there are things I don't actually want back, but I remember them so fondly as a kid. Like having a John Deere Gator, like the little ride-in.
All right. This is insane.
That and this again, I don't want this, but I had a Kim Possible doll that I broke within the first hour of having it because I wanted to do a split and its leg snapped off. And I've been disappointed in myself ever since.
I feel like I was like, and this is just because this is how I'll obviously answer it. I was more so thinking of something in the realm of like gaming or...
We've done my 2 big childhood
ones.
No,
I know. And that's fine. I mean, I think like I didn't realize how much of an itch I had for like Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
Until we like picked it up again. But I didn't know. I didn't know if there was anything. I mean, I would say for me, it's like a lot of like thinking back to like the DS era. But I also like, I have all of the means to scratch any various itch I could have.
Yeah.
I just haven't done it yet.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Because I guess I just haven't felt the itch enough to need to scratch it.
Yeah, I don't know if I can think of really anything else. Gaming, again, Guitar Hero and Dance Dance Revolution were genuinely, I've played those games a million times. So like those would probably be at the top.
Cool, well, let's go do it 1,000,001. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Yeah, I'm like trying to think of like even like an activity or something, but I like genuinely can't think of anything. I know that's not a fun answer. Like, do you have a certain game that you would think of?
I think of like Nintendogs.
Oh,
like
I'm enraged that Nintendo hasn't just even re-pushed out Nintendogs for the Switch.
Yeah.
I am not one to like. I pretty much never need something the minute it comes out. I would want Nintendogs the day it came out.
Yeah.
Like, I would want that game.
It'd be interesting too because like, you know, remember the whole like dog walking mechanic?
Yes.
It'd be interesting because you could do the like leg strap that comes with like
the Wii Fit
or
the, whatever it's called now.
The Ring Fit Adventure or the Switch Sports.
Yeah.
You could easily just package one of those with it and like when you like take the dog on the walk, like
you have to do like steps.
You have to just like walk
or
in place
like
or I don't know. I feel like they could like find a way to like add a health benefit type thing to it, you know, like gimmick that Nintendo's pretty good at.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think of like Nintendogs. I think about like Cookie Mama, not to like dip into Good Game Bad Game where Mike and I talked about, you know, how to shop for gamers basically. But I think about those types of games where you just like, I feel like playing them again would fill you with like, that's very, very specific emotion.
Yes. And they're also really good games that like they are meant for a younger like person.
Yeah.
So it's not like it'd be weird to give a 12-year-old today Nintendogs.
No.
Like it would both satisfy. It's like the re-release of Disney movies. Older people are excited to rewatch something they loved, and it's very good for kids to get to do it as well. It's literally, it would do that, like re-releasing some of those games. I'm actually mad. Like, why hasn't Nintendo released Nintendogs again?
I don't know. But yeah,
you can't tell me that wasn't a huge game for them.
I didn't know if you had anything like that. Which again, like,
Yeah.
I know it's like one of those things where now that I've been getting into video game collecting, it's so much easier for me to like pick back up something that I foolishly got rid of.
Mm-hmm.
Which happens.
Yeah, it
You know,
happens.
whatever. That's life. You live and you
Yeah.
learn.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't know if you had anything. I do actually like the gator and like the like
Those are when I see other kids have them, I'm like
a
a little jealous.
Yeah, 100%.
Those are so fun.
They're pretty sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just didn't know. I didn't know if you had anything.
Not really for my it's not like childhood, but when we were thrifting today, I almost pointed out to you there was a ripstick in the store. And that store had like Sam's Club floors and like Home Depot floors.
And you were like, I could just quickly rip.
I was
a
like,
few.
I could totally. It's like literally when you wanted to wear your Heelys to like a
Kohl's.
Yeah, like you wanted to take them to a big store like a Walmart and all those because they have the nice clean floors. That was like the feeling I was getting in the back of my head where I was like, this ripstick now
it's
on
like,
this floor.
Like a kid with Heelys.
Honestly, I know Heelys had like a mild comeback. Can they actually make a comeback?
A kid with Heelys sees a Kohl's, a Walmart, a big store, department store, like anybody who wants to test a car in GTA sees the airport. It's just an open space to just let it rip. Just
It'd be so
open it
fun.
up. See how fast you can go.
Yeah.
See if you can make that turn at the end.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's yeah, I really had a slight urge today and I was like, I know there's no way in hell they'd be okay with me doing this, but all of me wants to use that ripstick right now.
That's funny.
Also this isn't like nostalgia, it's nostalgia, but it's not gaming or anything related and it's just going to ultimately be kind of depressing. I have this necklace. Had this necklace.
It was a dragon with a little gemstone.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh.
I believe you because that sounds like something I would have. Feels like something I got with like a book.
It is. Do you now want that necklace?
No.
Okay.
But I know what you're talking about. No, I had this necklace that I think it's called like it's like the silhouette art, like when it's like a person like sideways and it's like a black on like a colored background or vice versa. There's another word for that, but I used to have a necklace that had that, and it was a token of memory from like my great grandmother when she passed away, and for some fucking reason I got rid of it, and every now and then I like can see it, and I'm mad that I got rid of it. It's not even like I was like exceptionally close to her, but it's just like every now and then I'm just like, why did I get rid of that?
I know.
Why did I do that? Like I was probably in high school and I was like, what am I going to do with this? And I've never seen one that is exactly the same color. Like that would at least somewhat be like, oh, this is what it's supposed to be replacing. Don't need it to be identical, but I've yet to even find like something close. And I've like hunted. Like I've like looked in thrift stores, I've looked online, I've looked like eBay, like I know where to look, and I've literally never found one that's like the one I had, and that is so frustrating to me.
It's the worst.
It is, and like I don't even know how much I'd like wear it. Like I'm sure I'd wear it from time to time, but yeah, I'm just like it's something that sits in the back of my head. That again, it's not like a game or anything.
No, but still
a weird like, why the fuck did I get rid of that?
Yeah.
Why did I do that?
The worst.
Stupid. But yeah, it's fun because I feel like a week ago we were mad at nostalgia because it's how much it's being used as a marketing thing at this point. But also,
I mean, no,
you don't actually ever hate nostalgia.
I'm fine with nostalgia. I don't like that what's old is new.
Yeah.
It's like different.
Yeah, no, I get that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I would be mad if like I get more mad about like remasters or remakes of games, especially if it's like clearly just kind of phoned in.
Yeah.
Over like going and finding an original.
That's
right?
fair.
Like cuz that's like yeah. That's not a cash grab.
Right.
Might be for the pawn shop or
right. See, and I know Nintendogs would be a cash grab, and I'm saying for once, do the cash grab.
Right, and there are times where
you.
enough time has passed where it's I could use an updated or new or whatever, and I get that too. But it's
a
just,
very fine line.
Yeah, it is, and I hate that anymore. Our emotions have completely been manipulated to. The main thing is movies.
Yeah,
right.
Movies have gotten
we're getting a
bad
sequel to a movie that clearly didn't get a sequel for a good reason.
Yeah.
Back in 2000, but because it had Will Smith in it, and you recognize him, and he's so much more notable now. There's a revisionist of people now go back and watch that 2000s movie, and they're it's actually pretty good. It is it just didn't succeed at the time,
right?
And it's okay, well, we'll make a sequel now.
Yeah.
It's just fuck off. I'm tired of it. We're just doing remakes constantly.
Yeah.
It's just stop. Please seek help. And there's there's a difference between that and a movie franchise just continuously going. So we've been talking about Mission Impossible, right? I think the longest break between movies there was 4, maybe 5 years.
Yeah.
That's totally different.
Yeah.
You
can still get sick of it.
A franchise that started and consistently has releases through 2023 is fine. Could, like you said, you could get sick of it for sure.
But that's not nostalgia. That's just.
But a movie that released in 1990.
Yeah.
And then just and then there's times where it's done really well. Apparently, I haven't seen either, but Blade Runner and then the new Blade Runner.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's really well done.
Yeah.
Great. If you're gonna do it right, fine.
Right. I mean, it's literally a few weeks ago, I didn't even know the Tom Cruise War of the Worlds isn't the first one.
Right.
Technically, it's a remake.
Right.
I didn't even know that because the original one is
that's fine.
old.
But it feels
really
anymore.
Yes.
Everything that comes out now is either a sequel or a remake of an old story, and it just feels nobody's trying anymore, and that I don't like.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
I agree. There's a huge difference.
It's a fine line.
Yeah.
So. But cool. That's as we dip into nostalgia, I was curious if there was anything that you could think of.
Yeah.
Are we ready to talk Mission Impossible?
I'm ready to talk Mission Impossible. If Grogu will stop playing with bags of clothing. Mission Impossible 5. It is the 6. Really?
Yeah. Fallout.
Okay. 6. It is the most recent one prior to the newest release that is still in theaters. Some places. Yeah, I think it is. Mission Impossible Fallout. Okay. We did see this one in theaters when it first came out.
I saw it in theaters twice.
Yeah.
And then
I remember this being a fantastic movie in theater. I remember the theater experience
was very good.
Being fantastic. So it was really fun to rewatch it. And you said this is probably your most watched Mission Impossible movie.
Technically, probably. I've now seen it 4 times, which isn't a lot.
No, but
it's mostly because you and I needed to watch it twice just to make sure we were ready to talk about it.
Yeah.
And then I saw it, like I said, twice in theaters. I would say I've seen, so you and I watching through all of them was this at least the second time I've seen every single one. And I want to say maybe 3 I've seen 3, if not 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe the first Jeremy Renner one. So 4.
Mm-hmm.
I might have seen that 3 times, if
that
not 4.
That was probably my least watched one, which is really funny. The first Jeremy Renner one.
So
yeah.
But I know we're gonna go into it. I personally think this is the best Mission Impossible. It's tough. I know I actually, it's so funny. I just listened to a podcast, and somehow Mission Impossible came up, and they were talking about how they think 3 is the best because and I think it's for all the things that we had said, Philip Seymour Hoffman's performance is amazing, the twist and how they do it all and tell the story is done really well.
Yes.
So it absolutely deserves to be talked about, but I think you also have to consider does it truly hold up? And I think when you're going back, I'm I still feel good about how we've like ranked them, which is.
I'll be honest, I don't even know our ranking.
I think we've ranked them thus far 5, 4, 3, 1, 2.
Okay.
If I remember
that
correctly.
Sounds right. Yeah.
Which I think it's so incredibly obvious how 4, 5, and 6 is like this like
new era
almost, right?
Definitely.
And it's so much better than 1 and 2.
Yeah.
But I do think that even though like visuals wise and like all that, it's much better than 3. It's like very crisp and all that, right? There's clearly a jump in text somewhere in there. I do think 3 is very close still to like 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah, there's a huge
just
jump
a steep
between
drop off.
1 and 2. Like 1 and 2 are down here, and then 3 makes a big jump, and then isn't far behind 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah. But man, yeah, 6 is like, it's just like a perfect action movie.
Yeah.
I think the one thing that, again, like what I was listening to, and it's a good point, the one thing that works technically against it is that like 6 can't exist technically without 5, right?
Technically 6 would be weird without 3.
Yeah.
5 and 6 would be a little confusing without 3.
Yeah.
You could watch them. You just, obviously, in case we haven't said, we're gonna do spoilers because these movies have been out a while.
At least 5 years.
Yeah. So in movie 3, Ethan Hunt, Tom Cruise, gets married. And that's literally the whole thing, is that like, oh shit, I've tried to live a normal life and now I've endangered someone, because now if anyone wants to get to me, they're just going to go to her.
Right.
And so basically everything post 3, you get small things that are like, okay, clearly like
he was out of the game. Now he's back in the game.
Yeah, he's back in it. Ooh, he doesn't have a wife. I thought he did have a wife. That's a little weird. Oh, like she had to like go into hiding, of course, and blah blah blah. So you've gotten pieces. And then 6 kind of like brings it all back together, where it's like, where's this wife been? Like, oh, some people know about her, some people don't know about her. Like obviously within Ethan's like inner circle. And you ultimately in the end, like, of course she's used again as like a pawn against him, basically. Yeah. In the end of the movie.
Right.
But this one does continue the
Syndicate.
The Syndicate and whatever his name is, the little weasel looking guy.
Oh my god.
It continues him, but expands upon it because now his own creation has become bigger than even he, and different than what he wanted it to be. Grogu. No. So yeah, it's kind of all of that, and it's really interesting. I'm curious where this will go in the new one, if it'll have any impact or not. But it felt like it was definitely getting hinted at. Solomon Lane.
Nice.
I was like, it's driving me crazy. I can't think of his name. It's clear Solomon Lane borderline disagrees with what his movement or whatever his crime ring has become, and pretty much Henry Cavill is now like a baddie in the story, and even he's like, you've become so focused on Ethan Hunt, you're not even like caring about like the Syndicate or the Apostles anymore.
Yeah.
And like literally Solomon Lane is like, it's all about Ethan Hunt, like it can't be about anything else. So it does feel like Solomon Lane is just going to keep like downgrading in terms of like villainry on a global scale. Like truly his goal at this point is to destroy Ethan Hunt. It feels like there's not much of a goal elsewhere.
He was definitely, I would say, with that like the small town that they were in. I mean, he was prepared to, when it all blew up,
absolutely heinous things.
He was he was prepared to like die in the explosion.
Yes.
So
yeah,
I don't know. It's like,
oh, he's definitely still evil.
I'm
not saying he's not evil.
I feel
but
like
it feels like they're showing
done.
his
like,
downfall.
I don't think he's solely focused on Ethan. But to your point, the way he chose to have the explosion would have had an incredible impact on not only like a world scale, but on Ethan.
Yeah.
So I do see what you're saying.
It feels like they're just like showing his downfall as a villain. Like he's got almost so wrapped up in his own shit that like he doesn't even whatever.
I think the way that the entire movie kicks off is done extremely well, right?
Yes.
Like from the jump. And I think you are kind of like awarded that when you're a sequel in general, where it's
Yeah.
like you can just kind of jump right into it. You expect people to have like seen the last movie.
Yeah.
So there might be a bit of a like, what's going on here? If you haven't seen any of them, but like it just jumps right into it, and like they do such a good job of making you think like they failed.
Oh, I made a note and I said, this one seems to be more so about deception, specifically from the viewer's point of view. Like you are just as much in the shadows as like the people they're going after.
Yeah.
Like they don't let you in on the background of like the prep of
Yes.
what they're doing
So,
to get what they want.
They basically like make it seem like they lost, and that this guy who has this
nuclear weapon.
No, manifesto.
Oh, yes.
That, like he got his wish basically, and
Yeah.
that like these like religious holy cities were attacked and all this stuff, and
Yeah.
you know the whole thing with the syndicate is like before there can be a great healing, there must first be a great suffering or whatever, right? And they make it seem like because they failed to get this thing that it led to
Mass destruction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the guy thinks that he succeeded and gives them like access to his phone, and just like that, Tom Cruise, Ethan Hunt's like, go, and then it all just like drops.
I love
and
that.
it's like, oh my god,
it's so good.
It's
I have a
done
hard
so
time.
well.
That is like so satisfying, especially even rewatching it, knowing it. It's so satisfying. But I really sat there and I was like, is this it in my opinion it is, but I'm like, is this better than the plane jump scene? Like it's so hard, the like satisfaction of both in different ways. Like it's so like, the openings to these movies are great. Like they're just all great. And I'm just sitting here going like, oh god, I really love the plane jump scene. Is that worse than this? Like I was like, I do find this more satisfying. The other one's just like exhilarating. Yeah, because this one really leads into like, it truly shows you from the get-go, you as the viewer aren't going to know they've won until the villain knows they've won or that the villain's lost. Yeah, you're like in on the same amount of context.
So I love that. Like it's immediately how it like it starts, and it's so well done. And then like from there, I mean, like it's a good setup for, you know, how the story kind of unfolds from there, and like why it is that they're doing what it is that they're doing, because they've like now got the information to try and stop the thing that the guy thought he had succeeded in doing. It's just done really well. And then you have Henry Cavill added into it.
Yeah. Of course, the fight scenes are amazing.
Yeah. And so that's what I was going to say. The bathroom fight scene when Henry Cavill notoriously reloads his fists.
Yep.
It is.
I just like the amount of throwing through walls and
coolest
destruction of sinks.
Yes, it is the coolest that man has definitely ever looked somehow. And yeah, and then that entire fight scene is just like, it's 2 against 1, and yet
you don't know who's
Henry Cavill and Tom Cruise are getting the absolute piss beat out of them, and it's so funny.
At one point, there were like 4 throat punches, and we were like,
literally,
"How?"
It was like Tom Cruise got throat punched, and he like staggers back. Henry Cavill gets throat punch as Tom Cruise is ready to attack again. It's just so, and like you said, it's choreographed so well. Like
it is.
You know, not to like give a superhero movie too much credit, but I think about the Captain America and Bucky fighting Iron Man in Civil War, and it's just 2 against 1.
Yeah,
it's an absolute beatdown.
Yeah,
and there's so much happening.
Yeah,
in terms of like superhero shit.
Yeah,
that's just like, this is awesome. This is done so well. But yeah, on like a totally somewhat different level, I think like the Mission Impossible fight scene in the bathroom is
the best,
like top tier.
It's so good.
And it does a really good job of like, to talk about like the Gray Man, right? Where in that movie, like Chris Evans and Ryan Gosling are effectively beating the piss out of each other, and like they're getting hurt, and like, and the pain is actually lingering, and it feels very like close to real, I guess.
Yeah.
Or semi-realistic.
Yeah.
To some degree.
Yeah. You're not trying to make someone seem superhuman.
Right. And that's how this felt. Like literally they get punched in the throat and they are like, ugh!
I know, which I wonder if that's just a change in action movies, or if that's just become like a, let's acknowledge this series is old, thus Ethan Hunt is getting old.
Or that, yeah.
Thus, like, I'm curious.
I think to some degree it's like,
I do think it's just a trend at the moment.
I think it's like people are realizing like, it doesn't make sense that somebody gets shot in the shoulder and then they're just totally fine.
Exactly.
So
I do agree. Like I enjoy that.
and I love that. Yeah. It's
That
like it's like a very small attention to detail because you
Yeah.
can totally miss it and be like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
And like just move on. But like to see somewhat of a and they do that whole thing and then he walks into another fight basically.
Yeah.
And walking into it, he's not shaken up at all. So it's
No,
like
no. They've done a bit of a middle ground.
but yeah, but the actual fight itself at least doesn't feel so like
yeah.
your
Unreal.
punches are doing nothing to me.
Yeah.
So
I made one more note. Towards the end of the movie,
Mhm.
I said, of all the things the IMF knows, teaches their agents, etc., Ethan Hunt doesn't know how to fly a helicopter.
he just learns on the fly. Get it? Thank
Get
you.
it? Of all the things they know,
Yeah,
all the languages they've learned,
right. Never
they
learned
know
the
how to
language of
literally
flying.
disappear off like the grid. Never a helicopter. I think when we watched it a few weeks ago and then like stopped talking about it and it came back, I think
Months
I had
ago,
that
but yeah.
thought. Good point. I think I had that thought, but I didn't write it down. But I remember being like, wait. Like I was really paying attention and being like, he clearly doesn't have confidence in this. How does he not know how to fly a helicopter?
Yeah.
Like that feels, again, with all the different weaponry they handle, all the tech, all the this and that. Like he obviously puts it together fast, but like clearly doesn't know how to fly a helicopter.
Yeah.
Like it's clearly not second nature to him. And everyone on his team is going, you know how to fly a helicopter? Like they're all questioning his ability. And I'm like, does anyone in this group know how to fly a helicopter? Or like, would it be like, sucks if that was their option?
Yeah.
That was mind blowing to me to really think about it. Which maybe they're also like, he can't be perfect. I
Right.
don't know if that was the thought process. Like he doesn't know everything. He doesn't know how to fly a helicopter.
I mean, I guess, flying is something that would take a lot to learn.
I guess, but like if you've literally been trained to be like this, I hate using the word again, but superhuman agent who should be able to do anything. To me, a helicopter should be pretty high on the list.
Maybe. I don't know. It doesn't bother me nearly as much as I think you're making out to me. It's very
It's
interesting.
weird to me. It's weird to me that all the things that you see them do through the movies and he doesn't know how to do that. And he's not until the 6th movie you realize he doesn't know how to do that. But what else
is on that level, I guess?
I don't know. Like, how can you be so good? I know they're not like the same. Like,
Right.
I wouldn't equate them in
Exactly.
skill.
They're not the same.
But how can you just be like, you know so much about like parachuting? Like you clearly like, I don't know. It's just like weird to me. It's
You think
just,
everybody who can parachute also knows how to fly?
No, I don't know what I think. It's just all weird to me.
I also think, we talked about it like a few, my God, probably almost a year ago now at this point, the whole like Tom Cruise when he runs,
Yeah.
a movie seems to do better.
Yeah.
I also think a very easy way to like do something that'll make people feel great is to just have like 30 seconds to a minute plus of Tom Cruise on a fucking motorcycle. Because
Yeah.
that man is so effortlessly cool on
Yeah.
a motorcycle. I kind of hate it.
It's annoying.
But yeah. I'm trying to think if there was something else that I specifically wanted to call out about this movie. I mean, they did have like a motorcycle chase scene that was awesome and
Yes.
very like adrenaline pumping.
This one felt like the most, if I'm probably totally wrong, I'm definitely wrong because as soon as I'm about to say this, I'm realizing the Jeremy Renner one would also be up there. It feels like they traveled the most to do
like moved
stuff.
around the most.
Yeah, but I'm realizing the first Jeremy Renner one, they also were doing that because they were genuinely like running from the government as well. He's gonna topple that. Oh my God, that was so scary. I know in a few, I guess this one seemed more in your face because like, yeah. Because Jeremy Renner one, they're running around a lot and it would have been the one before Jeremy Renner when he's also on the run because literally like all of his friends had to be like, yeah, we hate him. And they all had like lie detectors and all that shit. He was also like all over the globe running around, but it just wasn't in your face.
Was that Rabbit's Foot?
I don't remember.
I don't know. I think that was 4.
It was 4. That was 4. So then 4 would probably be out there for the most like they'd have to travel around to like achieve what they're achieving. This one just felt very like you can tell like if like other ones feel a little bit more like, oh, we're here. Now we have to go here and this is where we're gonna do our job. This one was a lot more like all
This
over
and
the
then
place.
this and then this, and then we're there, and now we're here. Yeah.
So it makes the movie like feel longer because like when you were like, oh, there's this motorcycle scene, I was like in my head trying to place the motorcycle scene, and I was like, that's like actually so early in the movie.
It is fairly early.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you have stuff like that. Like you said, like it makes the movie feel like there's so much more in it.
Yeah.
But it's paced really well for like a 2.5 hour movie.
Yeah.
It moves.
Yeah.
It's very entertaining. It does not have very many low points.
No, very few.
Yeah. I mean, you have the whole, like, you then, to again go back to Tom Cruise running, you have a whole scene where he is on foot trying to chase down Henry Cavill.
That's one of the best ones.
I
love that one.
Simon Pegg's character.
I love that because that's reminiscent of the one in Rabbit's Foot where for one of the first times Simon Pegg is helping him and like directing him.
And is going, oh, wait, you're left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like now it's like new and their relationship's different. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's like directing him and he's like on foot and he's jumping through windows and jumping across buildings, breaking ankles.
Yeah.
Just so,
insane.
Again, just so like, you and I were talking about, we were like, do you think they do like this entire running scene, or do you think because like you can see clearly when there are camera cuts to like a different camera angle that he's now he's running here and now he's running there and all that stuff. Do you think they do like a shot a day where it's just like each shot's probably like a tenth of a mile? Yeah. So it's like because he's
sprinting.
He is in a full blown sprint.
Yeah, that is not 100%. Like a jog.
He is pumping. I love watching him run. It is so funny to me. Yeah. Because his arms are doing everything.
Yeah. And normally his face is like, like you can tell, you can see every muscle straining in his like chin.
Because he's fucking 60 and can still fucking run a 40 like that. Yeah, man. It's just it's a really well done movie.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. I don't know what else to say.
So I feel like it's pretty obvious we're gonna rank it at the top.
I think it's easily the best. I mean, I think it's like, yeah, it is worth taking into consideration that technically, like, you can't have this without like 5 and stuff like that.
I'm not a person who really takes that into.
If I'm talking about the entire series, like,
it truly is why it's like to our point. It keeps getting better.
Yeah,
like as long as you can make it to Rabbit's Foot, if you elect to watch the first two, as long as you make it to Rabbit's Foot, you're in. Like you can do it because it's just gonna get better.
Man, great series. I can't wait to see Dead Reckoning.
I know. I'm actually really excited. I don't know when we're gonna watch it, but it probably won't be next week.
No,
it'll come in a few weeks. We'll be like, remember when we talked about Mission Impossible? Yeah.
Guess what? We finally watched.
But yeah, so that's it. Thank you all. Wow, I just love Mission Impossible. I'm just thinking about the movie now, and I'm so excited to see Dead Reckoning. Thank you all. Hope you all had a great holiday weekend. If you got to, relax for a bit. And as always, you can find our social handles in the description of the episode. If you're listening to this via audio, we post a video format where you can watch Grogu being annoying for the entirety of this episode and jumping and almost collapsing his tower on YouTube at SMSoup Podcast. And if you'd like, follow the podcast on TikTok and Instagram at SMSoup Podcast. And we'll see you next Monday. Happy soup season.